Sharpsville Middle School students speak out about their quality of education. Hear their thoughts and concerns in today's Daily Buzz.
Today's Business Journal Daily Buzz is brought to you by 717 Credit Union.
Looking for insights into how young people view the region and what it would take to get them to stay, the Business Journal held 6 roundtable discussions with middle school students from the area. The panels are part of our 15-month Brain Gain program. Each panel was moderated by content manager Jeremy Leidick. All the students were chosen by the schools. This video has been slightly edited for time. Today we go to Sharpsville Middle School to speak with 4 students from the Gifted Individualized Education Plan.
Brain Gain is sponsored by Sweeney Chevrolet Buick GMC, the Mahoning Valley Manufacturers Coalition, and the Moransky Companies.
First of all, let's just go around the table, starting with Micaiah. Favorite school subject?
It's gotta be Spanish. I know it's a high school class here, but my favorite subject's gotta be Spanish.
Okay, that's interesting. How about you, Alexandria?
Probably language arts. I really enjoy writing, and I don't know. It's just, even though Mr. Wataki's definitely difficult at his best, but it's definitely enjoyable. So.
Okay, James.
I like math.
Math?
That's my favorite.
All right, Isabella.
Math. I just enjoy that it always challenges you because she's always throwing new stuff at us.
So, you mentioned that math is, you like it because of the challenge.
Yeah.
What is it about having a challenge that makes you appreciate that class more than opposed to a class where you're just kind of breezing through it?
I just love that it gives me the ability to accomplish things.
Like what?
Like if there's something that we're learning that I just don't quite understand and I don't know what it is or how to do it at all, I know by the time we're taking the test on it, I'll know how to do it and I'll be more confident with doing that in the future.
Mm-hmm. What is it about being challenged in general that you appreciate?
I'm not quite sure. I just kind of like it.
I really I personally think off of if there's a class where you just breeze through, I know because I've had a couple of those classes, it's not educational, it's just sit there and screw around while you get the 100%.
But with math, you can sit there and you can still pay attention, but you're quietly interested.
Yeah.
You don't exactly kind of days off or something like that. You're able to
I
continue watching
yeah.
because you know that if you don't pay attention, you're going to miss something that might be vital.
Because I know of a couple people here who have regular math and they have over 100 in their class and they're literally sleeping in class.
Is Spanish challenging for you?
Yeah. I don't really care what the grade says because I have 103, but it's still really challenging. Especially because I have to deal with 10th graders and the whole 7th grade thing. Last year I had to sit in on a senior class in Spanish 4, and I walk in there and they ask me how old I am, and I say I was 11 that year, and they're freaking out.
Yeah, I just want to add to that saying that me and Alex do go over to the high school actually right now for Spanish. We're in Spanish 1 and he's in Spanish 2, but it is weird every time we tell somebody new in our class that we're a 7th grader or that we're 12 and incredibly young, that they are just blown away by the fact that we're in that class with them.
And there are actually a couple other things that I'm starting to get to. I'm graduating from Spanish. I'd say graduating, but completing. I can actually stop after this year. Through requirements of the school. You have to do Spanish 2.
So how did you get into the Spanish classes ahead of time? Are you all in 7th grade?
Yes.
Okay.
GIEP.
What is it? I'm
Gifted. GIP.
Got you. Okay.
So your parents can come in and if they have a class they want you to do, basically if you're qualified enough to do it, which I kind of proved myself last year because I was the first one to do it. I got 102 in Spanish last year, combined. And really I think that set it how now they're doing it, it's spreading. And more kids can have the higher education.
When it comes to that sort of the foreign language study, do you feel that should be a gifted thing, that when you're in 7th grade you move
No.
forward, or should it be just
Everybody
taught
does-
younger to begin with?
I think it should be taught younger because I know I didn't come to Sharpsville in like kindergarten. I came in 3rd grade, and I know at my old school we had Spanish for an hour almost every day in 2nd grade, and I was learning so much there through that.
And there's been many like studies, like as long as you're still kind of learning the English language too, but if you're learning a second language earlier on, it's better for you to learn earlier on because you're still learning another language, so it helps with the learning process. And now you already know another other language, so it's hard to go back and forth with the languages.
Yeah, it comes. Some of the, like grammar and stuff comes from English and other places. So if you're learning another language, you're learning some of the grammar that came into English. So you're learning both at the same time.
At my previous school as well, we started learning Spanish in kindergarten, and then we went on to Chinese once we hit 1st grade. So, yeah, like I think that it kind of sets up a basis for stronger like ELA, just like that, like practice, just because you have more experience with words and so,
Yeah.
and the roots. So
I was going to say, you said language arts is your favorite subject. Do you feel that sort of foreign language education lends itself to language arts and being able to overcome challenges there?
yeah, partially I do believe. I just think that it kind of sets up a good foundation for that. So.
And I can tell you that language arts, I know our teacher bases a lot of it off of Latin, which is heavily put on Spanish, which that kind of helps all of us. I can tell you, me and Izzy and Alex have all realized something that no one else in the class has realized, and the only reason we know it is because we take Spanish.
Got you. And James, do you take the Spanish class too?
No.
Does it sound interesting?
Not really.
Not really? Why not?
Nothing
I
sounds
just don't
interesting.
want it. I don't know. I just think, man.
Man?
I just don't want.
You'll have to take it eventually.
I know, but I
Yeah,
just
you'll
don't
have to
feel
take
like
it
I'm ready
eventually, but then
just
it'll
yet.
be
Forced upon you.
It'll be
Yeah.
forced.
Yeah.
This is
So
this is
when-
optional. I actually had the chance this year to there's a couple times that I have gotten the chance to skip grades. I would actually be in Spanish 2 regularly if I had chosen to skip the grades that I was able to skip.
Gotcha.
And then I'm taking Honors Lit 1 next year,
Mhm.
which is basically like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going up to the high school for 2 classes next year. I would have done it this year, but it interfered with math. So,
There was a possibility that I as well would have been going to that class, but since it conflicted with our Algebra 1 class, we weren't able to do it.
yeah.
Same with mine, because my mom believes she wants me to get into the advanced curricular things, like the college
Because-
courses. So that's why we're trying to get out this, like the the foreign language right now. So because that conflicts with the college
Yeah, because
courses in high school.
if all of us on the course we are now, they'll have, I think, 2 extracurricular classes that they're able to do. I'll have 4. And that's more that you're able to go through college, like as a high schooler. And so really, not even skipping grades, I would be able to graduate 2024 instead of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Not even with the skipping grades, which
Okay.
is
I'm just trying to get my credits up so I can have
Yeah.
take off an extra year
Yeah.
of college, because if what I'm trying to go for in
Mhm.
college is I'm going for radiology. So like if I want to get into radiology, I just
Yeah.
want to get it kind of done a little bit
Yeah.
faster so I can start making
Why is that?
income.
Start making income?
Yeah. So I can pay off my house.
Wow, you have a house already?
Yes. Yes. I'm
Technically
going to
she
inherit my
does.
parents' house because they've been working on it for a while now. So
You mentioned that your parents are really trying to encourage you to pursue those advanced classes, to get those college credit classes. Why do you think that is?
Because they want me to be successful in life. They don't want me to be, like, working at McDonald's or something like that. So I think they just kind of, they were very successful themselves, so they're trying to be role models and show me that I can be as well if I put my goals high enough.
And I think that, like, I know I had a very horrible experience in second grade. And really, my parents, that's what really set them off. I got my GIEP the year before kindergarten.
What's GIP?
Gifted Independent Education Program, I think that's what it stands for.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what it stands for. That's just a guess. And in second grade, instead of, like, enrichment, my teachers chose to stick me in the back of the room and told me to learn third grade subjects. And then eventually by the end of the year, I was on fourth grade subjects, and they weren't done learning multiplication and division.
I had a similar experience with that in sixth grade. I was put into the regular sixth grade language arts class, and I was getting all hundreds every 9 weeks because we never really did anything in that class that would have helped me. He was actually in that class with me, and
awful.
it was bad. We didn't learn anything, and I would come home, tell my, like, they would ask what we did in school today, and they would, like, go through the subjects, and I'd tell them what we did, and when we got to language arts, I couldn't tell them anything because there was nothing that I felt passionate about that we were doing in that class.
So, quick show of hands. Book learning versus hands-on learning. Who prefers book learning?
I love hands-on learning. In second grade,
Yeah.
was the year before I came to Sharpsville. I was at my other school. They gave us, I think it was 6 different books at the beginning of the year, and, like, I got it done so quickly in class. My teacher's like, you can just take your books home and you can work ahead of the class. And I think that's really when my parents were like, she's ahead of where she needs to be right now. And then when we came to Sharpsville, I think they wanted something more, and we weren't getting that.
So, what do you think you're getting at Sharpsville other than elsewhere? What are you getting more?
I'm honestly not sure.
No?
Answer that.
Sure.
At my previous school, we didn't have, like, our teachers weren't totally certified for teaching, so we didn't have, like, they didn't really teach us. We learned off of cards. Like, we took tests, and if we missed parts on that test, we had to study them on cards. So at this school, I'm just happy that we actually have someone telling us, like, teaching us how to do things, and I wasn't learning from just pieces of paper they printed out.
Is there something that you're not learning here that you wish you were?
No, not really, because it just kind of, this place was definitely, had more, learned more here than I practically learned my time at my old school.
And then
so.
at this point,
Okay.
I'm still not very happy with this school. I've been here all 8 years, and I know so is JJ. And I don't think we're seeing what we want to see.
What do you want to see?
And, like, honestly, when I came home the last day, it was a day this past summer, and I had heard they were cutting the advanced DLA, and I shut my door, and I had a hissy fit. Like, there's so many kids that deserve so much better, and I know Mr. Pataki's a great teacher. I just don't think that we're getting the right education that we need, because there's so many kids that are lower level education than us, and not putting any shade on them like they're dumb or anything. They're all smart kids, but we're just ahead of where they are. And he used to do, like, selective teaching. Like, he'd give you this, but he'd give another person this. And he clearly does not do that anymore because we're all getting the same thing. There's people getting D's on benchmarks that all we did was pronouns and figurative language, which we should have known for at least 3 years now.
Like going off of what he said, there were kids in our language arts class that now would have been the advanced language arts class that were in our mid to lower level 6th grade language arts class last year that I did not expect to be there.
And they don't now the kids that are stuck in that 7th grade ELA class, not the advanced. There's some of the kids that can change their entire future.
Yeah.
Like getting into that advanced ELA class last year.
I don't agree with the advanced DLA. I didn't think that it was much more difficult than the regular classes because I thought that we got the exact same work that the previous class did. Because it seemed like
you
that.
definitely did not.
It seemed like that, but we did not. We got.
I just didn't see the difficulty.
That might have just been that
Like with
the advanced stuff they were giving you was not advanced enough.
That
It was
that
higher
the
than
thing,
what
'cause-
we were doing, but it wasn't
there were
high
some
enough
people
to your
in
level.
their 6th grade advanced ELA class getting 97s, 98s, where in that advanced class, I honestly thought I was going to get a B. Like, this past 9 weeks, I got my first B in my entire school career.
Mm-hmm.
And
So do you feel that if what I'm hearing, maybe if I can just kind of paraphrase it a little bit, it sounds like you can handle something a little bit more challenging, but the opportunity isn't there.
yeah.
Am I gathering that correctly?
Yeah.
Do you guys all feel the same way?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
My parents have definitely talked about many times going to different schools, like schools up in Pittsburgh that are very well known for their gifted program and their enrichment. And I really think that it would be good for me to go there, but I don't want to leave my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Like, when I had that chance to skip grades, it was in 3rd grade, and my mom had already seen the development that I've had with my friends and didn't want to take away that
Yeah.
opportunity.
So do you talk to your parents about those possibilities?
Yes,
Yeah?
very regularly.
Yeah?
Actually.
Yeah.
And what are their opinions?
They want me to do whatever I think is best because I know we went and actually we were going to go and tour one of the other schools we were thinking about, but we couldn't go because my sister got sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to see what the other schools would be like, and we were actually going to spend a day there, and I would go and I'd be in their classes, and if I thought that it was just better and I would be learning so much more there, I would have actually gone.
What sort of academic levels? You've been a little bit quiet, so I'm just trying to get some stuff out of you. What sort of classes or education would you like to see here?
like just maybe like some sort of more like, I don't know, like robotics kind of thing, like maybe like during because we have our rotations, and last year we had computer tech, and I really like that. I wish they would kind of have something like that for 7th grade, like during the school day, too.
What is it about the robotics
I
thing
did it.
I just love
I did it,
how
yeah.
things fit together, and you figure one thing out and it just leads to another when you're working with
Yeah, you have
robots
that
and
sequence.
technology.
You have that sequence, like, when you finally get it, like
It's
like
that,
there's
just
a
that
thing,
sense of accomplishment
like,
at the end. It's
yeah,
just
you have that sense of
amazing.
accomplishment that you don't get in, like, your sports teams or... 'Cause I know our 7th grade basketball team won our first game Friday.
They're awful.
Our soccer
They
team,
do.
our
We
soccer
didn't win a
team
single
did
game.
nothing. We tied
We
once.
went 0-8-1.
So you got the robotics with the elementary school.
Yeah.
You got it with high school.
But there's
But
nothing
there's
in
nothing
nothing
middle
here
school
in the middle.
where we're here for 3 years. So by the time, like when we're in elementary school and we do it and we've got it like down and everything, and we go up to the middle school and we don't do it for
There's
3 years,
3
it's going to be
years-
a lot harder to get back into it
Yeah.
when we're in high school.
There's 3 years lost.
Yeah.
Mhm. So that robotics, it's part of that STEM. You guys know what STEM is,
Yes.
right? Okay.
STEM and STEAM.
STEM and STEAM,
They're
right.
the same thing.
They're kind of the same thing.
Close.
Minus
they're
the letter.
close. Minus one
Minus
letter.
the subject.
With what you learned, because you all said that working with your hands is something that you
Yeah.
enjoy, more so than just sitting down and reading out of a book and being lectured to. The kind of work, the kind of jobs that come out of STEM, is that something that interests you guys at all? Let me ask you this. Let's go around the table. Mikhail, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I either wanted to be a professional basketball player or a teacher.
Okay. And you wanted to be radiology, right?
Yeah, radiologist.
Radiologist.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
James?
want to be like an electrical engineer of some sort or something, like
Okay.
in that range.
Gotcha.
I don't have such high dreams as them, but it's kind of been something that's put on me since I was little. I've always loved to play with money, and I've always loved to be doing stuff like that. So my parents thought that like maybe an accountant would be like perfect for me, but through what like I've been watching in like the society around me, I've kind of thought it would be interesting to work with like be a police officer, and I wanted to specifically work with the canines because I just think that would be so cool, and just watching it looks
Copycat.
awesome to me.
5th grade, I wanted to be a canine officer.
Mm-hmm.
We did that one thing with Miss Petrosini, where we went through the jobs.
Oh yeah, I didn't actually get that job, but it just seems interesting.
Yeah,
to me.
I know me and Izzy sat next to each other. You wanted to be a judge. You looked at
I
the
thought
judge.
it would be fun to smack the thing with the hammer.
Yeah.
That's what I do, Michael.
Yeah.
Alexandria, you look like you had something you wanted to say.
Oh, I actually have two things. But, there was these two activities that I did over the summer that they were extra. Well, they were just educational activities. But we did this. There was this opportunity that I had to go to this medical career center thing over in Sharon. I think it was like the CAT Center or something like that.
HopeCat.
HopeCat, yeah.
Yep.
And I was doing this thing where you were supposed to you were figuring out how this one lady like died. She didn't actually die, but like it was and it was cool. But the only thing that really bothered me is I was the only 6th grader doing it because you weren't allowed to do it in 6th grade. So the first day I went and I got so stressed out because there was nobody else there that I knew that I didn't do it. But I just kind of wished that it was open to other 6th graders because it was definitely one of the more interesting things that I think other people might have wanted to do. They didn't have the option to.
I felt that as well when I found out that I was going to do Spanish this year. I didn't I know that he went over alone.
Yeah, how do you think
last
I
year.
felt?
I hate
was
being
lonely.
alone. I want to be with other people. So when I heard that she was gonna do it, if I was gonna do it for sure, I was really excited because I knew that it would just be easier if I had somebody over there that I knew and I could trust.
And I can tell you that those two definitely work better together. I'm one of the people who definitely work better on my own. Like when we have subs in math, I can tell you everybody moves away from me, and I'm always the first
He
one
just does
done.
it. Yeah.
I'm always the first one
You
done.
don't have any distractions.
I think the reason we work together so well is because we've literally been together since birth.
Because my mom held her and I was in my mom's stomach.
So our big joke is that she held me when I was first born, and that's why we're such great friends.
Gotcha. Okay.
But we didn't realize it
Touch
until I
my
came to
knee.
I'm sorry.
I didn't even know she existed until it was the summer before 6th grade, and she's like, I need you to show her around and be her friend. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to focus a little bit on what you said as far as what you want to do with the rest of your lives and how the education relates to it. Now, James, you mentioned you like math, you like the robotics, and you want to get into electrical engineering. It sounds pretty related. Do you feel that what you're learning right now can help you get to that goal?
Yeah.
Yeah? What is your goal after high school?
I want to go to college and stay. I want to stay around here, maybe YSU or something like that. And go to college for engineering.
I'm just about the complete opposite of him. My absolute favorite college softball team, if I were to go and play softball in college, which is really what I want to do, would be UCLA over in California, which is really far away from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you the the three colleges I had high up on my list were Duke, Stanford, and UCLA.
Basketball
Just
programs.
a great.
Well, Duke for the basketball and education, but Stanford for the education and UCLA for basketball and education.
The big joke in my family was that Harvard was the only school that would accept me because all the other schools would be like, no, she's too
You're too
smart.
smart.
Like, we can't have her here. So,
And then there's people who are saying like I was in, like this past week, someone in my Spanish class saw my grade and said, "Why aren't you already in MIT or Harvard?" It's like, it's those things like you do have the reputation for like, because you have all the high grades and you should go to Harvard,
It's just a
MIT,
lot of-
Oxford.
it's just a lot of stress put on you because you have had those amazing grades through elementary school and then through middle school and probably high school, but if you don't perform, it's just, you don't want to know what happens if you don't perform then. So it's just difficult to keep up with everything.
I got you. So with the type of grades that you're getting, and you're in these advanced classes, why not something like engineering, NASA? You know, what is about being a police officer that grabs you?
It just, there's been certain things that I've seen that I just want to prevent. I want to help people. I know my friends will say, like my parents will be like, she's not very helpful, she never does anything around the house or anything, but I don't think that would really affect.
What have you seen that's, when you say that, what do you mean?
Well, one of my dad's favorite shows that he's always watching is like Live PD and police shows like that, and as soon as he started watching them, I just got into it, and I could understand what they would be doing in certain situations. And that's when I thought that it, like, if that's something that interested me that much, that could be a potential for my future.
James, what inspired you to get in engineering?
I've always been like, I do professional Christmas lights, so I really like to like program. And like, I like to, like when I was little, I'd take stuff apart, like my mom's sweeper, I'd take that apart and like look at how everything works, and I like taking everything apart. And when I was little, I always
this man to get more lights and go in the Christmas.
Yeah, he was actually in the news.
He was
Oh,
in
yeah?
the, he was
Like,
in the
he
news.
has lots
He's hardcore
and lots
Christmas
of
lights.
So is it a family business?
No, it's just I do like I'll program all of them, but like I'll do most of all the like putting up most of all the lights, and my dad will help, like get up on the roof and do that stuff.
You make him do the grunt labor?
Christmas lights.
So tell me
Right
about
after
that.
Christmas.
Like, how did you get into that?
I just like we would go and see like lights, dancing, music, and stuff like that, and I'd get so excited. And like when I was 2, I would like play with all kind of lights, and I got my first like lights when I was young, and like I would always just play with them and like look at them, and like I just loved them. So
And how did you learn how to program them?
I just a bunch of tutorials like from the like the website that I used to program them in there.
Okay.
So.
And did have like the equipment? Is it a computer type thing?
Yeah,
or?
and then like there's these controllers, and I just hook up everything, so it's pretty difficult.
Yeah,
but
and
you get through it.
I can go off the robotics and engineering and programming. You were actually one of the people I wanted to go on the robotics team because I knew the Christmas lights and there's lots of things that I know involve. I may not seem like a Christmas light person because I am big. Yeah, I kind of like the programming too. It's not something I seem like I like, but.
What could you see yourself doing for the rest of your life? What inspires you?
There's all these people like when I used to play football, they called our offensive line the Gentle Giants, because all of us are like 5'5" or taller, and everybody used like there was this one Walmart experience. I'm walking with my mom, and this one guy calls me a bodyguard. And, like, there's people who urge me to be, like, a bodyguard, police officer. There's all these things, like, that people put on me. And there's some of them I like. Like, I wanted to be the canine officer because I actually like dogs. I have 2 cats, but I like dogs.
Okay.
And, like, there's a lot of things that push me towards, like, the police officer and those things.
What's pushing you toward police officer?
I really think it's because, like, my great-grandpa was in World War II. He watched the nuke go down in Hiroshima. And my dad was honorably discharged 7 years ago from the Army. I really think that military background has really pushed me. I don't want to be in the military, but, like, I want to, yeah. And then really what was urging me to be a teacher was that I don't want kids like me to go through the same struggles as me. I want to make sure that they're not sitting in the back of the classroom.
So Izzy and Micaiah, your uncle, your great-grandfather, would you say that they're very inspiring people
Yeah.
in the things that you do?
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Alexandria? Who inspires you? Who's your hero?
Well, my dad is in radiology, and I just, like, he accomplished so much in his lifetime so far, and, like, I want to be like him because he can say he did stuff. He like, you can't question that he didn't do something with his life. So I want to, like, at least be able to say the same thing he can, and I'm going to strive to do better than he can, because I know I can. I just want to prove to him that I will.
Alex, do you feel the school's holding you back?
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, I do enjoy math. It's just sometimes I'm, like, she's still going through the problem and I'm already done with it, even though we're working on it as a class. Yeah. I'm just kind of like, I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for her to get to the answer to see if it's correct, but
Yeah, I literally look
love doing stuff on my own like that, just kind of finishing it up, but when it comes to doing it in class, we just kind of, like, I'm done and she's not. So.
Yeah, I look at the problem, write down what I think the answer is, and I put it on my pencil.
And then we have to
and,
wait.
And most of the time, it's right.
Like,
there's sometimes I don't
there are
know
some
what
of
it is,
us,
and I just
I know, like, some of us take our time. Like, I know JJ's almost always the last person to turn his quiz in.
But he
and I'm always
gets it all
He
right.
usually gets it all right, which I think is fine, but when we're in class and we're taking 5-10 minutes to, like, do 1, maybe 2 problems, I think
that's
like,
just a waste of time.
it's been our same class for pre-algebra and then algebra 1, except we got a new, like, person this year. But I just think that we all work together so well that, like, if she's doing something on the board and we're not, sometimes, like, we tune her out, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And we just work within our group.
Yeah, there's stuff I don't remember what she said. I don't remember what half the stuff she said from this past class.
Yeah, and I think we've all kind of learned from, like, the beginning of last year, if we didn't understand something, after we do a problem, she's like, okay, does everybody understand what we just did? Like, does anybody have any questions? I think we put our hand up and, like, said that we didn't understand something, like, last year, and we would spend the rest of the class talking about that one thing. So I think this year, I don't think it's better, but I
think a lot of people,
if we're confused on something,
we just
are
like bring it up after class or something.
it's very unlikely that we're actually going to ask her then, because that might be
because she's going to spend 30 minutes taking
partially
Mr.
because
Pataki
we
takes
want to continue with what we're
periods to
doing,
explain something up. So.
or that we just don't want to hear her talk.
But
I'm not quite sure what it is that makes us not want to ask us questions.
There's times where she doesn't often.
Sometimes she will notice that if you're like this looking at your paper, she'll be like, Alexandria, is there something you don't understand?
Yeah, but
And she'll go up to you and she'll explain it.
Yeah.
But, like, sometimes you're just kind of staring at your paper because you're just kind of staring at your paper because you don't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to rewatch all the work that you've already done on your own. Like, I mean, if you're more into, like, making drawings and stuff while you're, like, waiting for them to be done.
Macy's scary house. Spooky
Yeah.
house.
But, like, if you're into drawing stuff onto your paper when you're, like, bored and stuff, you could have a whole notebook of sketches.
Yeah.
Up to, like, by the end of the year.
I can tell you from the time that I've taken that wasn't, I could have.
It's not beneficial for us to be sitting there doing nothing while she's up on the board going through every single step of the problem.
But
It's
the-
just
And she wants us
with us
to.
just sitting there.
She wants us to go every step, every step, every step.
When
I've
we
just
don't.
I've just looked at the question and got it right.
James.
But the good thing about her is she'll like go through and like if you don't explain it, she'll make sure that you understand. But she doesn't like, she like they said, it does take a little bit of time, but she makes sure everyone understands. So by the time you take the test, you know it by heart. Like you know exactly how to do everything.
Yeah.
So
There's still some things where she can explain it for 2 periods. There's some of us that don't.
We don't need that.
We don't.
There's
we
some
don't,
of us
we
that don't need her to
yeah.
do that, and there's some of us that need her to continuously do that.
I just,
Yeah.
So
like
how would
for
you change it?
longer amounts of time.
Because there's always going to be students who learn slower and faster.
Yeah.
I just wish we would have been able to learn this a year earlier, to be
Mhm.
honest. Even though, like, I actually am the youngest kid in this grade, just because
Yeah.
I
I'm down
joined
there as well.
a year, like in school, I joined a year early.
Mhm.
So, but I just feel like I kind of wish that we were also another grade ahead.
So, kind of one final point, one final question I wanted to ask that doesn't really have a lot to do with school and academics. What do you think about the community of Sharpsville, Western PA? You know, once you go to college or, you know, graduate from the police academy and you're working, do you want to stay in the area?
Yeah.
2 people are nodding. Why? And 2 people are shaking their heads. You're split. Alexandra, why do you want to stay?
Because, like, my parents, again, like earlier on, I said my parents have been working on a Victorian house. They're renovating it for multiple years now, and it, yeah. But
Big boy house.
it's like I want to inherit the house because it's such a beautiful house, and I'm able to like
Don't
I'm able
let
to
a house
understand the
draw you
house,
back.
and it's just kind of like it'd be an honor for me to inherit the house like that, and I just don't want to go anywhere because if I'd be leaving the house that I've grown up in and stuff.
How about you, James?
I just want to stay here because like all my family like lives right around here, like 20 minutes away from here max. But like and like we have a camp an hour away, or it's like a really nice house, but and it's like it's a nice place to get away. Like if we want to go get out of here, we just go boop, we're there. But like we know a lot of people. Well, not really know, but like my mom and dad both grew up around like Hubbard in that area. So they know a lot of people around there. So like they just.
Do you feel you'd be able to do what you want to do professionally here in Sharpsville? Or in the
Yeah.
general area?
I think so.
Yeah? Okay. How about you, Izzy? You were shaking your head no.
I actually I know that like Pennsylvania, and especially this part of Pennsylvania, is a very nice place, and there are a ton of supportive people here. But I want to go and I want to find other places that would be better. I always want to find that place that's better than the place I was last.
What
And
makes it better?
I don't know, just more opportunity.
What opportunity are you looking for?
Just a job that like pays really well. Like
Well, get in line.
I want something like that. It's something that I can do, and it's just very simplistic. That I mean, there is a lot of my family that lives around here, and most of us live in Pennsylvania, but I just think that we've always been on this side of the country. I want to go and see what lies beyond that.
Like
part.
explore.
Yeah, kind of.
And there's a lot of things that I know that I don't personally like about this area of Western PA, but there's also a lot that I do like.
Such as?
Really, I like the community. There's so many people who reach out, like when you're having tough times. And there's been a lot of help that people have given.
Do you feel connected to your community?
Not as much as I would like to, but I'm still connected.
What's one thing that the area could do that would get you to stay? Like if they
I
made the
don't-
change tomorrow.
I don't know that there is something that they could do to make me stay.
717 Credit Union. Business services designed to meet your daily needs. Commercial loans, business deposits, merchant and payroll services. 717 Credit Union. It's knowing you were treated right every time.